with a dream, my cardigan. Welcome to the land of fame excess. Am I gonna fit in? Jumped in the cab, here I am for the first time. Look to my right and I see the
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. 낮에는 따사로운 인간적인 여자, 커피 한 잔에 여유를 아는 품격 있는 여자, 밤이 오면 심장이 뜨거워지는. I wanna know your name. You just kill me, could you at least do that? I wanna know your name. Or better yet, stay there, but just do that. I wanna know your name.
My name's Gene Violet. I'm the lead singer of the band Kashmir. We're a Led Zeppelin tribute band. Yes. Ever since I was a kid, I think I was about 10 years old, I saw the Beatles cartoon, Yellow Submarine. And ever since when I saw that, my parents bought me Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the album. And I started singing with it, along to it with my brother, and then me and my brother actually started singing on the radio doing a cappella. We were singing songs, we call it the radio station and sing Beatles songs. So that's how it all got started. I was about 10, 11 when I saw the cartoon, and ever since then I wanted to be a rock singer. We, ASCAP every year, we get a, ASCAP is like it's like the police of songwriters. They make sure that the songwriters get compensated for their music. Same thing if you order a play or something like that. If you're a high school and you have a play, you have to pay fees. Well, we pay fees for our music to be on the internet. And a lot of the theaters and a lot of the venues, they pay a yearly fee to ASCAP for shows. Not really. I mean, I had different bands that I liked. There was a band called The Cult that I really liked when I was in college. And that was kind of the direction. I was in an original band in New York City, and that was the kind of style. Like, you see a picture of me up there on the wall. That was our band called Naked City. Everybody had really, really long black. We looked like vampires back then. And we tried to emulate The Cult. They had really good tunes. My hair was like jet black and went all the way to my butt. In my life, I have two things that keep me going. I'm an artist by day, so right now I work for Verizon as a multimedia designer. But my whole life I've always been doing commercial art, drawing, or graphic design, and I've always done music on weekends and night. And a couple of times I tried to make it a living playing in bands, but for the most part, I've always had a day job and then played on the weekends. But I would say always, the way I would do it is find two things that you love and do it for what you enjoy. You do it for what you love to do. But I always made it a point to have one thing as a backup and then something else, like my music, as like, my kind of like my dream or whatever. Okay. But they've always worked together. My art and my music have always helped each other out. So one minute I'm full-time in art and then doing music, and the next time full-time in music. And I guess do what you love and don't do it out of greed, but do it out of love. Because when you get greedy, that's how you lose it.
Good morning, Tom Loesch, American Coachworks.
Donna Lee Andrews, American Coachworks.
We primarily, me and Donna had a long relationship together in the transportation industry with her knowledge of bookkeeping, customer base, dealing with people, and my knowledge of being able to maintain and repair vehicles over a customer base I developed over about 26 years. We decided to join forces and do something for ourselves and hopefully try to better the community. We understand the needs of the transportation industry and what people are looking for. There was a shortfall of it in our particular niche of the industry we take care of. So we decided to join forces and do it. And 2.5 years later, we've become recognized in New Jersey. Like any new business, even though we're both out of the industry for a tremendous amount of years, we have not accomplished our goals. Every day in business, no matter what you're in, there's always growing pains involved. And we experience those growing pains on a daily basis. But to get through them is trying to employ the right people, continue education constantly, making sure that all our certifications meet requirement, and making sure we're putting the right people in place behind us to do our jobs, as well as us doing with them.
What's your hardest part about owning your own business?
If you're a type of person that assumes responsibility like Donna and myself were in our past industry working for somebody else, there's a lot of responsibility if you're in a management position, no matter where you go. So if you have that background behind you to assume that responsibility and follow forward, you're kind of already prepped yourself for it from the past. So you just try to do the same, if done a little bit better in the future. So what we've done in the past brings us to the present.
Right, but that really doesn't answer the question. What's the hardest part about it? I would say finances, money. Trying to, better your business. We moved, we grew to a bigger building. So trying to keep that money going without taking out loans and putting yourself farther in debt. So we've paid for everything as we went. We haven't taken any loans out. So trying to manage the money, I think, is the hardest thing. We give people 30-day credit, which then goes to 60. So you're not collecting your money. It's a domino effect. You can't pay your vendors. So I think that's one of the hardest things, is keeping on top of the money. And making sure there's always enough to pay the bills and manage that.
The best way for me to answer that, because unfortunately we're from a different generation than you, you're basically our children at our age, is to listen to your peers, okay? They've been there, they've done that. They've seen all the bad spots, and they've learned by their mistakes. Even though you guys are young, and when we started out we felt the same way, that we thought we knew more than we really did. We did not. So listen to your peers, who you're going to be working for in the future, because they're probably giving you their advice by their mistakes they've made themselves, and learn through that.
I agree. It's a different world for you guys, unfortunately. If you go to college, there's no jobs out there. So you're going to go to a community college as opposed to spending thousands and thousands of dollars. You're going to get some knowledge behind you, but unfortunately the jobs really aren't there. That's unfortunate, but the thoughts about you guys, always be respectful. Wherever you go, always be respectful, because I think that's one of the biggest things your generation is losing, is respect.
Yes.
In the work field. Showing up on time, caring about your job, going the extra mile, not doing less than you have to do, but doing more than you're asked to do. That's one of the best things that we could tell you.
Do whatever you have to do with your customer base to make it right. We all have downfalls. It's no different than our 30-day critical and a net 60, okay? It's no different with your customer base. If there's a situation, do whatever you have to do to make it right. Don't turn a deaf ear. Don't walk away from it. And me and Donna started in this industry ourselves without going to banks, fortunately, in the middle of a recession in June of 2010.
Yeah, when I sold my home from a divorce, we had a chunk of money, and we had thought we were going to do this. So we said, you know what, let's take that money, let's start the business. Then we decided a year later we needed more space, so we doubled our space. Tom had money then, so he put money in. So I started it, he carried it, but we never took out a loan. Thank goodness.
In the 2.5 years in the industry, and starting into our own business, whether this is relevant or not, in June of 2010, it's now November of 2012, a year and 5 months later, not only we doubled our size of our business, we started out with a very small payroll, working ungodly hours, and we've actually come to the point now where 2.5 years into it, we actually started a business now that our first month we did a net, a gross of about $12,000 2.5 years ago. Our gross operating for the end of our physical second year is almost $1 million. And we never borrowed nothing from a bank. Now realize, gross is gross, that's not operating cost. If you want to know our operating costs against that gross, that's a big, big, big difference. It's a huge difference, but realize, but at this point here, everyone that is employed by us is pulling a paycheck. So there's a little bit of money left over at the end of the physical year, but we've also invested that right into the business. There's no Mercedes, there's no BMWs, okay? You gotta work hard. You gotta work hard.
That's what it is, you gotta work hard.
The minute you get ahead, put it right back in your business, because that's your lifeline. And you have to remember that.
I'm Robert Nussbaum. I'm a teacher at Lenape Valley Regional High School. I've been teaching here for 18 years, business subjects, and I'm also the DECA Club advisor. I decided to become a teacher in 1992 when I was graduating from college with a degree in business administration with a major in marketing. For years I worked as a camp counselor, and I liked working with young people, and decided I could combine teaching and my marketing background from college, and that's what I've done. It's worked out well. I've enjoyed it. One example that I found rewarding is when I have a student that comes back years later, whether it's 1 year or 2 years or 10 or 20 years, and they say, I remember what I learned in your class, or I remember something you did with DECA, and that helped me to get where I am today, whether they got their first job or got into graduate school, or something positively happened from something they learned in my class or club. DECA is an international club for high school and college students. It is for students to take what they learn in their business classes as well as their other academic classes and apply it in a real-world setting in competitive events that are either written or case study role plays. They're ranked against other students, and they progress to different levels of travel and awards based upon how well they perform. The advice I would give to a college student today is make the most out of your time in college, get the highest grades that you can get, but most importantly, study something that interests you, study something that you're going to be able to utilize for your career or your family or whatever you're going to do when you get out of college. Don't just go through the motions and go to classes because that's what's on your schedule. Make the most out of it and try and enjoy it.
Oh, I hate this song.
I threw a wish in the well. Don't ask me, I'll never tell. I looked to you as it fell, and now you're in my way. I trade my soul for a wish, pennies and dimes for a kiss. I wasn't looking for
I thought you said you hated
but
song.
now you're in my way.
Silver.
Your stare was
Okay.
holding, red jeans, skin was showing, hot night, wind was blowing. Where you think you're going,
Baby, hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. So here's my number, so call me maybe. It's hard to look right at you, baby. Here's my number, so call me maybe. I just met you, and this is crazy. So here's my number, so call me maybe. And I got the boys trying to chase me, but here's my number, so call me maybe.